No, dude, it's time. Yeah, okay. All right, guys. Ready? Lock it, fellas.
My name is Matt Cressley, and I play bass in We're From Antarctica.
My name is John Blanco. I'm lead guitarist.
My name is Chris Roush, and I'm the drummer.
I'm Carlos Paco Brown. I am one of the guitarists and one of the singers of We're From Antarctica.
I'm Jess. I'm the singer and keyboard player of the band We're From Antarctica.
Keyboard. My keyboards are too powerful for you, camera.
The band started from a mutual friend of ours who came to me and Chris separately, said, hey, let's start a group. Things kind of fell through where me and Chris really clicked together. The others that got recruited didn't. And eventually, the classic lineup, as you see today, began when we added John and Mac around 2016, 2017 in January.
So in 2016, I joined the Army for a short stint. Literally was in for about like 3 or 4 months, got kicked out, had no idea what I was doing with my life. I was playing music literally from about like 9 and up. I've known Chris and Paco since I was a kid.
If I could tell a little story. I joined the band from a mutual friend of Chris and Paco's. I think like my initial feeling when I tried out for the band, I liked that they had like a plan. They knew what they wanted to do. They wanted to record. They wanted to like do stuff that a lot of like the bands that I was in before them just didn't have. But then we played our first show, and then Paco came. At the time, Paco was in high school, and he came in with his choir group, and we were at a bar, and I was at the bar getting drunk because I was super nervous. So when I saw Paco come in with his choir group, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, these guys are all still in high school, but I stuck it out, and it was a really good decision.
So I came back from the Army, and I had nothing going for me. Had no job, had no idea what I wanted to do, but I always played music. So they were still kind of like in the phase of trying to figure out what's going on with their band. They gave me the opportunity to be like, hey, you want to play lead guitar or bass? I played guitar like my whole life, but I was like, bass, 2 less strings. I mean, like I could figure it out, it's no problem. And then from there, it's just been fun ever since.
After a year of running as a 4-piece, we were thinking that something was missing with our sound. So first day of college, me and Mac at the time were smoking cigarettes. We were just talking about, man, we just need another vocalist. Like, we're just missing something.
I've done music projects pretty much all my life. And at that time I was in college and I didn't have any project that I was working on. It just kind of happened to line up perfectly.
We need someone else to complete everything. And we're like, we need a singer and we need a keyboardist. She happened to overhear us saying that, and she approached us. She's like,
Oh my god, I'm a keyboardist and a singer and I don't have anything to do musically right now. So they invited me to some practices, and at first I was really sketched out because the invite sounded like, hey, 4 dudes in a basement are meeting up, wanna come? And I was like, no way. So it like took me a few meetings to get comfortable enough with them to be like, okay, I would hang out with them in a basement.
long story short, you have the group as it is now.
So I had a few students that were working together in various productions, and they became friends and then had a professional relationship, which I think in a way is the value of a college environment, especially in person, that people meet and share talents and expressions. And we kind of found each other and formed a band, and you know, we're glad that the NCC could be a part of that. I remember that they did several projects based on the band when the band was sort of just forming, and we did some things in a TV studio and they did something portably. And so it was always fun. There's always a fun environment when you have some live music and a band that plays together. It enriches the class experience for everyone.
If you could describe the band in 1 to 2 words, what would they be?
Fun and spunky.
Fucking cool.
The first thing that pops in my head is adventurous. I feel like you listen to them and you're going on a ride.
I don't want to make it sound like cliche and say something like vibe or mellow or breeze. but as a personal thing, I always see the band as a family.
One,
Oh God.
what?
No.
Two. You're fucking up my rhythm first. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
What I like about playing with the band is the connection that we have through writing and art. I think we just kind of hit it off. And then the sense of humor that everyone kind of shares.
Might as well, Joe.
Well, we might as well jump.
We should do like a Shrek theme.
Is that matching audio?
So fast with the red hair.
Can you bring... If you wanna... Thank you.
Hold on, we're gonna have to slow that.
This is what it's like to be in a band, kids.
Sorry, what?
We're jamming over here with the love of music.
Wait. A bucket of onion.
Don't even think about it. Son.
With a side of salami.
This is why we haven't written a song in like 3 years.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
5 months.
I feel like they have a very unique sound that's all their own, and they also have a really good stage presence as well. They have a really cool way of narrating a story, and not only in the lyrics but in their instrumentation as well. Their sound is very like independent, like Anthony Green. Very mellow, Beach Bunny, Anthony Green kind of vibe.
Wistful makeout music.
Indie beach rock, kind of to me. I mean, I'm sure they're gonna give me an earful for that, saying like, no, it's alternative this or something, but you know, just when I go there, it to me is best described as when you just first sit down after getting in the water at a beach and just kind of like take a moment to like relax and feel the air on you before you get back up and get right out there again.
Especially over time, I think they have a really cool sound, and I feel like they've really been cultivating what their whole vibe is. I also think that the songs they write are pretty genuine, so I think that's what makes them stand out.
You know, it's been a growing experience. It's exciting seeing a band start and grow. I did like beginner level projects to kind of promote them and stuff. I used to make posters for them, but you know, they've come a long way, and I'm proud to have been there.
We're all open to hearing and like experimenting. Like things aren't set in stone with us. Like we're all down to do whatever we think is fun, whatever we think is cool, whatever we think is the most exciting, and we're able to talk and communicate. I think we're all always on that same page of just trying to keep going.
I like the creativity, the different influences. I feel like we pull from a lot of different stuff. Just the experiences, just being out with your best friends, you know?
I would say my favorite part about playing with the band is the camaraderie.
Oh god, the camaraderie, the chemistry. Like I've been in a lot of projects. My first ever project I played in a like a metal band, like a post-hardcore band in high school, and I think we had 12 members overall come and go. So I never had that chemistry. Never had that. It was always someone came in, someone came out, someone came in, someone left. But as soon as we all got together, like the 5 of us, and we really started playing like our first few shows, it was boom. Chemistry was right there. Everyone knew how we felt about each other. Everyone knew what to do on stage, and we all had like a common goal, which never fully experienced that before. So when you have, you know, a group of people that you first care about and that have the same goals as you, sky's the limit. It's awesome.
As a band, we're family first, band second, which has allowed us to really communicate and mesh well. Other groups, from what I've heard, they tend to fight, they don't understand each other, there's no connection, but when people see us on stage, they know that we're a group of friends, and also we just jive collectively. And when we experience that kind of enjoyment of our music that we make together, that's what we bring to everyone else.
Did that speed up?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I started on the wrong note.
I noticed that.
Who writes the songs for the band? Is it a group effort?
A lot of the songs historically have been brought by Paco.
He'll bring like a chord progression, a hook, a melody line, and say, hey, I really like this. This is my idea. Here you go.
Some of the more recent songs have come from Mac or John, and sometimes I come up with like random ideas that influence the songs and stuff.
Within the group effort, there is people who bring the song to the group. I feel the philosophy we've had for the longest time was whoever brought the song has a vision. Either they have the song completed, like for example, Jess loves to bring songs that are completed, and then we write together on how the group plays. Then we put all the finite details once we get into it. As soon as like the idea is given to the band and is accepted, it is of the belief that we write it together. If someone would say, oh, who's the primary one? You could say the group, but I would say, oh, it depends what song and who brought it, and that's a clear distinction. But I won't say I wrote that. I'll say, I brought that song, and I worked on it, but then we collectively made it together.
So back in 22, I believe it was a Funhouse gig. I went up to John, I was like, hey, would you guys like a little bit more help with booking? So I discovered the band back when I was in another band, and we were kind of touring and playing with them. And then I think we just became friends over that course of time where my band was opening for their band. I would just go out to see their band when they were playing at all these other shows around the community, and then we just kind of hit it off at that point. From there, we were kind of just testing the waters at the end of 22, and then I'd say towards the beginning of 23 is where I really kind of picked up that title of manager, where I was helping them with booking, but we were also in the studio, and I was just kind of around for all these different conversations, and we were just kind of doing a lot of things all at once, and I kind of just helped keep things organized as we were going through that process. I just kind of have these expertise of the inside and out of like the music industry, and knowing kind of like who to talk to get gigs, or these other kind of connections that you make where it's like, okay, can we get on the radio? Can we get on TV? So it was just kind of like, I wanted to bring that expertise to the band and kind of like help them succeed going forward too.
I think the band is in a very interesting place musically right now where we could go in a lot of different directions, and we've tried a lot of different directions because it's like 5 brains combining into one output.
Sometimes we have like a stint where for like a month we'll be every weekend hitting up like different places. We might not like market it as a tour, but you know, it's like a little adventure that's happening every weekend for like a month straight or something. We do that kind of randomly and have done that a decent amount, but like actual tours where we're like, all right, we're going on tour, we're going out for a week or two and trying to hit specific cities every night. We've done that twice.
We try to tour at least once a year. You know, last year we did a tour and we hit different parts of PA, different parts of New York, hit New Jersey. So we try to do it at least once a year to at least get our name out there, to be able to play a lot.
So we just released the EP. So at this point we're trying to do the EP and then usually whatever songs have done well in the past that people know. So Boulder. Fade Away. Misdirection. And then whenever we come up with new songs, we're usually like, yes, please, let's play those.
Since I started managing the band, they've done a lot of really incredible things. I can think of the Sherman Theater show that we played. It was the end of December, one of these past years, and we were the headlining act on an emo night. They also played the Ice House, where they did the house music for the Ocean Avenue musical, and that was a huge undertaking. Both nights were sold out, so that was, I think, over 200 people each night. Just all these different milestones they've continued to hit and continued to exceed their expectations of where they thought they were going. So it's like sometimes you have that doubt, but then we kind of keep surpassing that expectation and that doubt, and we just keep going up and up to all these other opportunities that are kind of in front of us.
I feel like playing shows so much and touring or just honestly, that's the life of like being a musician, just being on the road all the time. It does have an impact on your relationships. I don't think I've had anything outright like explode or just like fall apart, but I think you notice like a distance when you're always busy, you're always practicing. There's like, I don't think people realize how much time a musician or like a performer needs just for practicing and being on the road. And I think for me it affects it because I want to be around more.
It is a process. These are adults. They have things they got to worry about besides this band, and it does take a toll, but you know, that's kind of what it is. You don't get diamonds without pressure.
Yeah, sometimes is it hard with family, especially when, you know, maybe birthdays or weddings or certain events pop up and I can't exactly be there because I'm following this passion that takes me, you know, across the country. But, you know, we all make it work and they understand.
I think that's the thing. They all know what we're doing. They all support us. I don't think it's ever caused an issue. They know that the band comes first, and they respect that, and they come out to the shows, they listen to our stuff.
So I'm actually married, and the entire time that we've been dating, I was in the band pretty much. And she was actually a part of the band at one point. So she's a musician, and so I think she like understands it at a deeper level than other people would generally.
My closest friends are the guys, so anybody else, I think they get it. I'm never gone for too long, at least at this stage. I mean, maybe somewhere down the road we will be, but we'll see.
What about working 9 to 5 to make ends meet?
Oh, the worst part about being a musician is working at 9 to 5. It's terrible.
On top of working a 9 to 5 is a lot. For me, like, yeah, 40 hours of work a week on top of 2 nights of practice a week. I think at one point we were doing 3, and then, you know, if you do a show, that's like, it could be like you leave at 12 and then sometimes you don't get home until 11 or 3 a.m. depending on where you're playing or what kind of show you're playing. And
when you have an idea or when you have a passion, that 9 to 5 gets you even a little bit more than just anybody else working because you know what you want to be doing exactly. You know, just like if I just had one shot, one opportunity to go do what I really wanted to do, like that would be my 9 to 5. I could be working that instead of being here.
To me, it grounds you. I think the sense of being a starving artist is almost, I can understand the appeal, especially in those times where there were a lot of artist lofts, artist spaces where people can crash, communities, and like cohabitation and everything, but it's very hard nowadays with how, you know, if I'm gonna be real, with how prices are and with everything, you need to survive in order to make the art. The 9 to 5 felt soul crushing because not only was I putting myself through emotional turmoil and distress, I was also emotionally fixated on how terrible my job was. But what that instills in me is that a sense of stability that this is giving me the grounds to pursue my dreams, to pursue what I want to do.
it's exhausting sometimes. It takes a lot of balance, but thankfully it's like worked into our schedule by now.
I think a band, if they really want to make it in the music industry, they have to over communicate with each other. They kind of have to be all centralized around the same vision, and they kind of have to be determined that you're going to get rejected again and again by some of these places that you want to play, but you kind of have to have that persistence to never give up and to just keep going because you believe in what you're doing, and as long as you believe in what you're doing, other people are going to start believing it too. And then that's kind of where you're going to start springboarding your career to get a little bit farther ahead in the music industry.
You know, it's a testament to their relationships and ability that they've stayed together this long, because I used to be in bands when I was in college and all that, and it's very hard to keep a group of people together for any time. Bands are constantly breaking up and reforming. So I'm not exactly surprised because they always seem like very level-headed students, but I think it's a great thing that they're able to continue that relationship as a working band.
Have you ever thought of leaving the band?
There have actually been times where I thought of leaving the band. I think there's so many complications in life. Like, yeah, you want to be around your family. You have other ideas for your life. It's a massive commitment as far as time and money, and it's huge. So yeah, there's been moments where I'm like, is this really what I want to do? And then even when I first joined, I was like, am I fitting in with the friend group and the band and everything?
I think the band, it's a very close relationship. It's like a family where you get frustrated with each other. It's not just like you're not always going to be happy. You know, there's a lot of decisions being made that maybe you're not okay with. Yeah, I mean, like, there's probably points in time, like, I wasn't sure if this was the thing I should do, but there was always a part of me, and I think the thing, like, from the beginning of when I joined, where it felt right. Like, this kind of, like, dedication is super hard to find in a group of people, and the way of listening, the way of communication is super hard to find, and I think, like any relationship, it's not going to be perfect. So yeah, there's probably points where I felt like, yeah, maybe I should, but I think in the long run, I'm always I'm in favor of, like, I think we can figure this out and we can, you know, adjust as we need to.
I couldn't see myself doing anything with anyone else, but you know, we do like other creative projects with other people, so I feel like that kind of helps out in the sense of like, this isn't our, like, we're not limited by just doing this one thing, but we can always be comfortable coming back to it and knowing what we're doing.
On the record, a lot. I think it is because of a lot of personal reasons I went through, my own stints of depression, anxiety, all the bullshit I put myself through. And for a long time, I lost the drive, the fire. I put myself through the ringer for this group. And I love this group. I feel like there was a sense of weird pressure. I think it became a thing of like, if I wasn't good enough, then the band would fail. I'm not good enough for the band. It's this feedback I put through myself. And there is a clear distinction of that being reality and that being completely just of my own insecurity and my own ego. And I didn't learn that until quite recently, actually. So I think over the years, I've always loved the band, but I felt like I was sacrificing myself for the band. It became like I needed to be the best. If I wasn't, there's no point. And it's that perfectionism and that sort of need to succeed that killed the creativity, because I was not as passionate, and that's not fair. And it was a disservice to a lot of things that could have been, but even within that period, we cranked out really amazing stuff. And to me, it's kind of like saying to myself and looking back is like, man, like if I was doing that and I was hating the whole process whole way through, who's to say what happens when I learn to love it? And finding that for myself has been an ongoing process.
Who is it for? I think Maxon's probably just extra. Careful, the one flower looks like it's gonna fall off. Well, I got the horse hat, so I guess you're gonna be whipping me tonight. That's not what I thought.
I got that on camera, by the way.
When we show up at a show, we could be, you know, loading in, say at like 5 o'clock, and then we don't play till 7. So that's kind of what it was at this show today.
My problem is just like I've kind of gotten used to playing shows, so like now I get like tired before the set. So like right before we play, I get like very chill, I get very sleepy, and then once like 5 minutes beforehand, it just spikes. Like all my energy comes back and flows, and I use that for like the set, and then it immediately descends after that.
Yeah, honestly, I've gotten Mac mid-nap right before our sets plenty of times. Yeah.
Definitely some anxiety going on. It's usually how it goes, where it's like the anxiety of just like wanting to get on. You know, it's a little bit hectic right now because there's only about 2 people helping run the show. So, you know, I'm trying to help out where I can. But I mean, like everything right now is set up nice, everything's good. There's a good crowd up there right now, so it's just trying to get out of work mindset and into like relax and get ready to play.
I think the show is a bit more specific because normally we don't do set design as much, but I think a lot of different peers of ours have really nailed an aesthetic and nailed kind of a vibe when you enter in the shows. It's not just, you know, the way it is, we're just like a stage and then amps. I feel like we can do more with that. So we will be doing a lot more set design moving forward.
Putting on the robe?
Yeah.
Wow. We're like thinking about it the way that.
Wow.
Yeah, no problem.
The Steves.
That's
awesome. My definition of success is definitely just to be able to do it full time. You know, like we've all talked about it as our main goal, where we just want to be able to live off of it, be able to make our passion, our dream, our job, so we can just do it more often. So we can quit those 9 to 5s. So we can quit all the other bullshit that we're doing, man. So
Yeah, fuck that.
This guy.
My definition for success of this particular band, I like to keep an open mind because I don't know where it's going to go. I would like to see us go as far as we can with it, but at the end of the day, if we all reach a point where we're like, wow, I had fun, I made music that I wanted to make, and I got to go to amazing places all the time that I would have probably never seen, if that's all it is, I'm okay with that. But I think we all kind of have this idea of like what we would like to see is to be able to actually make money off of it.
Getting to a place where we're all like happy with what we're doing, where we're not like critiquing ourselves, we're not overthinking what we're doing. Like, yeah, it'd be nice to make some money off this, but like if we can like be pretty successful with this, like in terms of like fan base and like tours or whatever, like that'd be cool. But I think more than anything, personally, for us to just be like happy and enjoying this thing fully, like, you know, I'd feel successful if we just felt comfortable doing all this.
I think we're well on the path to getting to that next level. The band has been organizing these meetings where we're kind of talking about branding and we're talking about booking, and then we're kind of doing some research at bands that are at that next level of where we're trying to go, and we're trying to see what are they doing, how can we replicate it, and then how can we stand out among that crowd to kind of get to that next level.
My best advice moving forward, take a big risk. This band has been going on for quite some time, and I know that in the music industry, it takes years for anyone to get out there. It is never a lightning in a bottle experience, and if it is ever a lightning in a bottle experience, they have to straddle that lightning or they're going to fall off. They've had a lot of good moments, a lot of achievements accomplished, but it is still kind of paramount that they have this huge kind of blast off to propel them out. Typically just one big step will get them through the door.
Over my shoulders.
How do you feel, Chris?
I feel amazing, dude.
I would say to branch out and start playing places outside the valley more. Keep playing, keep recording. If that's what makes you happy, keep doing it because you're doing great.
They have been cultivating their whole image, but I do think that they could have a little bit more of a stage persona.
Follow what you really want to do. I mean, you want to take advice and get feedback from managers and producers, but at the end of the day, you have to do what you believe in, and you have to achieve your vision.
So 1, 2, 3, check, 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 check. 1, 2, 3, hello.
Test, test, hello, hello. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3, 4.
There's a lot of stuff we sacrifice for the band. Time, money, energy. I had the opportunity to go to many music schools, and a lot of us have had offers to go work at different projects, work different careers, but we all kind of, I think, find a way to make the band work, because to us, the band is just more than a job. It's our passion. It's what we love to do.
I'm willing to sacrifice back for this.
I will be sacrificed entirely.
Yeah, we don't need bass.
I'd sacrifice anything. Like, this is all I've known my whole life. And if I have to uproot, go somewhere else, give up my car, give up my place to go out and live my life and live my dream, then if that's what it has to take, then I will do it.
Yeah, I will happily give up Mac's car.
No,
this place to make this dream.
We're giving away Chris's kidney, actually.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's not that bad.
Yeah, it's not terrible. You have another one.
Yeah.
The sacrifice for me, I mean, you know, you see it in like your relationships with people. Like, I've missed family reunions, I've missed just days out with friends, and then it just all adds up in little ways. So that's a big thing. But yeah, the money that you spend traveling, while you're on the road, you have to eat. I feel like I'm at a point also where I'm realizing that this project is greater than me, and I have to sacrifice my comfortability and my boundaries sometimes, on stage even, to say, oh, I need to amp it up. People are expecting this from me. I know that I need to be there when I'm there, and it's really hard. I feel like that's been one of the hardest things for me, is like you said, kind of like emotionally sacrificing. You want to be vulnerable on stage, but you also have to put on a show.
I feel like, you know, like the end goal is whatever helps us the most. So in general, maybe a big label could help more, but I feel like the next step would be a smaller label. An indie label would help us.
What would it mean for your band to get signed?
It's both, I think, a resounding success, but it's also terrifying.
I would cry. That's all I know.
That would mean a lot. That would be really cool. Yeah.
It would definitely send us to the next level of where we want to be. Like once you're signed, it definitely opens up a world of opportunities, because then you really have a team. Like right now we do have a manager. We have a few people that do like graphic design for us. But when you're part of a label, the label gives you touring. The label gives you shows. The label gives you different ways to produce and sell merch. It gives you people for social media. It gives you way more of an expansive team. So if we had more people, if we had more resources, the sky's the limit.
What it would mean to me is that like we're doing things right. We're like, we've been working towards that direction. So to get there, to me, would mean that like we're on the right path.
What would it mean to you personally for the band to get recognition and success both so hard?
I think it's
such a hard.
I think it's because we're not used to looking at it in that way. We're so in the weeds about everything, you know, doing every part of it right and making sure everything is. So to see like, oh, what will happen once the success and what does it mean for us? I think for the two of us, I would say fulfilled in like more than just an emotional level, like a spiritual level, and I mean that like
it's like, oh my god, like we clicked.
Yeah.
Like someone gets it, someone understands what I was going for, someone, it's like just like the ultimate understanding, to have someone say, hey, I cried to that song, or hey, I love it, I resonate with it. Like that's like that's the goal, I guess.
That's when you know you're doing a good job of what you do, you know. And we've had those moments before, and it's always humbling to know that we, at the end of the day, serve our audience, and we serve them by enjoying what we do, so they enjoy what they do, which is go to our shows, like this one right now.
It'd mean the world to me. It would give us the gratification of everything that we spent hours of countless long nights not sleeping, sometimes fighting, arguing, crying over. It would make it all worth it.
I think it's worth it regardless, but I think that would just, you know, push it from more than just being able to say it's been a really nice hobby or something, you know?
Sometimes you don't feel it, at least like in the stage that we're at. Like we're pretty small, so you don't feel it all the time, but like to maybe get it more consistently, I guess, would be huge. Like it'd feel amazing, or like an award, like you know, would be awesome just to get that recognition. Because yeah, we've been busting our ass, and like so for it to be recognized would be really cool in whatever way that looks like. You know?
Where do you see the band 5 years from now?
In 5 years, I'd like to see the band playing as either the headlining act or touring support on like a larger tour, and that they get to play the venues that they're really excited to get to play. I'd love to see them just kind of keep building that community around their music and get to play one of those big stages, and then everybody in that venue is just having the time of their lives seeing them play, kind of like up on that big stage.
They're really gaining momentum a lot every year, so 5 years, I would like to see them headlining their own tour. I think that'd be really cool.
I see them playing bigger venues. I see them cutting bigger record deals. I see them touring a lot more. Maybe going overseas, maybe supporting a larger either like festivals or being like an opener for like a really big tour.
Hopefully happy. I'm hoping whatever direction it goes in 5 years, everyone in the band is happy. I have been with the band for 10 years now. I am effectively like a part of the band, not in a musical performance piece, but in a kind of acting performance piece. I am like the guy holding the camera for them. I have been with them on the road, and I see how hard they work for this. I hear them practice. I sit in and I watch them. But I mean, time makes fools of us all. We all get older. Chris is about to welcome into the world his first child. It's going to be kind of challenging years given how the world is turning out, and I would love to see that the band sticks together and makes that big push and could do this full time. But when it comes to the facts of it, there's a good chance that something's going to have to give, and they might have to end on better terms for the safety and comfort of everyone involved. But, you know, it was one hell of a ride up to that point.
Check 1 2 check check 1 2 check. That's one. Check 1 2 check 1 2 check 1 2. Yeah.
Hello, check check check. Can everyone hear?
Check check check. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Someone else, but not for me.
How's everyone doing?
We're from Antarctica. Are you ready to have some mischief?
I think the band is something I'm going to continue with for a while. I think it's evolving all the time. We have had a lot of conversations about where we want to go, and I think we just want to take it as far as we can.
I think we're all down to keep adjusting until it becomes a thing where it's like maybe it just doesn't fit everybody's way of life or like their own goals for the future. But like I think I'm done to go until the wheels fall off.
If there was a certain point where we were all kind of like, okay, this is just going to be more of like a hobby than something that we're pursuing, I think at that point we might end up becoming more of like a cover type setup, you know, just doing like some shows here and there. Like I could see that being like a thing that happens in 10 years if we're just tired of it or something. But I feel like with the people in the band, I could foresee us just playing indefinitely until we're too old.
Honestly, like I will stay with the band until it doesn't make sense anymore. I have had the opportunity to go play with, you know, different artists, go, adventure different things. But when it comes down to like this group itself, I've never felt this with any other people. You know, I've loved this since we've all actually came together and created this conglomerate, this family.
I think if the band is on the path we're on at, it could go forever. It could go forever because I think we encourage each other to explore different avenues of creativity, interest, and I feel like with that, it stays forever.
question. What do you hope is the lasting legacy of We're From Antarctica?
I hope the legacy of We're From Antarctica is that anytime anybody thinks of them, they think of what's a DIY band and how can we be like a DIY band. So I kind of hope that their legacy is that they continue to be friends, they continue to succeed in doing what they're doing in music, and they kind of are that example band. So like all these other younger generations to come next, they're like, I want to be in a band. Like, how do I do that? Like, you can look to We're From Antarctica and see the example that they set throughout their career.
I'll remember the fun times that we had in the studio and looking at their projects and working with the band. I think that's how I remember them, and maybe I'll see them, you know, on Facebook or YouTube or wherever. So.
I think that when people hear that name, it's going to be like Motionless in White going back to Scranton. Like when people hear that, they're going to be like, yeah, we know where they're from. Like proud, you know what I mean? Like proud to be in the area where We're From Antarctica came from. So I think their legacy is going to be pretty freaking epic.
They've all just had like really rough points in their lives, and I think that them being able to come together and use that to fuel their art and create something really cool in a way that brings something really positive to a large group of people, I think that's really cool. I enjoy being able to go to their shows and see like what they do to a room, and that's really cool for me to see.
I hope it is the silly masks they've made. I hope it is breaking a bottle over Chris and Mac's head. I hope it is just the good times that were had. The music videos and touring around and having a blast with other bands. I hope their legacy is being found by a new generation that just happens upon them and gets inspired to make their own music right after. Because as it stands, they were inspired by other bands to make their own stuff, and I hope that the cycle continues onwards. I've had times of people noticing their music and noticing them off my shirt and just being like, I heard them, they're great. And I'm always so happy, and I can't help but smile just thinking like, those are my boys, and you know, they're bringing a lot of joy to a lot of people.
Yo, my boy Francesco! I really hope that we are remembered in the community at the very least. I feel like that is something that we've always been very proud of, just like being a part of the amazing community that's been here in the Lehigh Valley. And I would just like to see that, you know?
Let's say like it were to end today, like I just hope that it was like something that at least like in the valley where people were like, this band was fun, this band was just authentic through and through. This band was gave me the confidence to be myself, and when I listened to their music, it was just something that I related to.
I hope that when people listen to our music, that they can get their own representation of what our music means. Where, you know, we write songs about specific feelings, but when you put art out there, that interpretation is now of the viewer. And I hope that maybe one day, or maybe even now, who knows, but people can listen to that and take a piece of what we're giving and attach that to what they're feeling or what they're going through. So if our art can change how a person thinks, how a person loves, how a person acts, even as just one person, then we succeeded.
I hope the legacy of We're From Antarctica is just, I mean, when I think of it, I just think of like the shows where all the friends showed up and the people we've met along the way, and I hope that there's just some little strand of community with our name on it with everyone else's. I guess that's what I hope. And music touches people, and you know, yeah.
Well, it depends who you ask. If it's the people in the band, the lasting legacy is the connection and friendship that we have, and that's forever. Even if like we drift apart, maybe we don't play, or whatever the future holds, or maybe we stay together and we're just as invigorated as ever. Whatever happens, that legacy for us is that we were able to share that connectivity. My hope and my legacy is that connectivity and that moment in time, whether it's with your friends, your partners, your family, or even with yourself, you find that meaning and use this as a capsule of time of what was then, what could be, and what is right now.
All right, random question. Who would win in a fight between the two?
Me.
Oh man.
We've had like small body shot things before back in high school, and it's.
I mean, I'm different now than what I was in high school, but
this is true.
I still just have the elements of a pacifist. I wouldn't really like give it my all.
Okay. Now you're making a thumb wrestling.
Ooh.
Oh, we could do that.
He has thumb thumbs.
Yeah, come on, right now.
Zoom in on that.
Yeah, he has toe thumbs. Look at how thick this thing is. Like, this could pleasure a woman.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare the war.
Jeez, I'm not doing. Oh my God, it's so large. Chris, wow, I didn't know it was. No, come on. You ain't got nothing on me. You ain't got nothing on me, kid. No, get over here. One. Oh, you let go. No,
that's a winner.
No.